Tribute to our amazing, our unique 3 red-hearted winners, Lia, Yusur, and Nazam. You know, I'm looking at these pictures, and these are just a few of the pictures that you guys printed and wanted to honor them with, just to speak a little bit about who they were. Let's talk about the people behind the pictures. Who wants to talk?
I'll start.
Go ahead.
Just looking at these pictures in this collage, it really makes me feel like I know them and I'm really close friends with them, and it honestly makes me want to hang out with them. They look like such cool people, such good people, good-hearted people, that just makes me feel like they're one of us. So for them to leave this world so soon and have their lives ended by such hatred and by such, it's just not fair. For them to leave like this, it's just not fair.
After hearing all that, how selfless they were and all that they gave back to their communities and even abroad, like in Syria and Palestine, by looking at their pictures, it's reflected in their smiles and the way they are and the way they look. You can just tell.
They had smiles larger than life, right?
Yeah, and it's almost like we have a connection with them, and even though they're gone, and in the highest levels of paradise, inshallah, I feel like their legacy is going to live, not only continue to live in us, but youth around the world, inshallah.
They never deserve to leave this world, not this soon, and especially not like this, like how it's happened to them. Like, they never dreamed of becoming millionaires and billionaires and not caring about the world. They wanted to help. They wanted to let their voice come out and help little kids, help the poor people, help anyone who needs help.
Did they ask the person if they were Muslim or Christian or Jewish before they helped them? I don't think so, right?
They didn't care about their religion or race or how they looked. They didn't care about any of that. They just wanted to help.
People.
Yes, people. Like most people, they care about what's on the inside, not on what's on the outside. It's what's on the inside that counts.
They did help. They helped Syrians, they helped Palestinians, they helped the community in North Carolina, they helped us, they inspired us. And just looking at their pictures, they're so pure, and they're not just a face, I can feel like they're actually a person, I relate to them.
We feel like we know them, right?
Yeah.
And the sad part is the life that they exude. We feel like they're just going to walk in and say, "Hey guys," right? You can feel it. That's how much life and vibrance they have. And you will. You're going to carry on their legacy. Yeah.
These 3 people, to me, are practically our role models. And they're educated. The girls would even cook for the homeless. And it's sad, but it also makes me want to become like them.
We heard Dr. Musalha say his daughters used to cook in the kitchen and take food to the homeless, right? And wonderful, wonderful, wonderful young ladies, wonderful young man, right?
They're especially in this kind of what Saeed said, and about the irony, and what a lot of us said about the irony is that they were killed, and usually they have messages around Arabs or Muslims in general, saying that they you guys carry around guns or bombs or whatever, and then when you look back, you see the person who shot them was carrying a gun around. So who are the real terrorists? Are the Muslims the terrorists or the guy who killed them? And also, I want to say that what Janine said in the first segment about why this is important, and I think this is important because a lot of people, they don't know what's going on. They don't know what's right or wrong. And I think the Red Hearted would help people realize that we're actually trying to spread a good message out here, and we're trying to portray something really good. And
very good. That's so true, Bob. Thank you for saying that. That's exactly what we're about at the Red Hearted, right? Spreading goodness. spreading universal sentiment. These kids were able to break the barriers. They saw themselves as an American. They saw themselves as a human being. They didn't identify as a Muslim only. That was part of their identity. It was very important. And obviously, their faith really is what guided them. But their upbringing, they celebrated being an American. From everything from basketball to an education, right? To goofing off. I saw a vine for the girls pretending to be President Obama on one of them. They were so cute, right? But they're not going to be forgotten. Go ahead, Mika.
Just like every time I think about this situation, I am in denial sometimes. I wonder why did it happen. I always question it. But I just want to say that like it happened for a reason. It sent a message that what Islam really is, but not what Islam is, like what every human should be like.
That's right.
And everything they did is just like so selfless, and it really inspires me, and I'm sure it inspires everybody, and it just makes me want to strive more to be like them and help out people who need it, and it's just everything they did was amazing, and when I look at them, they just make me want to smile, and I don't know, it's just everything they did was amazing, and it's so sad to see how they went, but they definitely left a big message that inspired all of us.
That's right.
And
I
then,
def-
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I definitely agree with what everyone's saying. I mean, you look at these pictures of them, you don't see terrorists or bad people. You see people that are very altruistic. They devoted their lives to help others. They're not going and building bombs. They're playing basketball.
That's right.
They're not going and teaching people how to hate. They're going and they're helping people with dental care. These are the types of people that I look up to. You know what? I think all Muslim youth see these people and we strive to be like Dia, Yusr, and Razan.
You know, and I've spoken to many youth that aren't Muslim that strive to be like them. They were role models for everybody because they symbolized everybody. They embodied unity, right? That was their whole message. Even though she knew she looked a little bit different, she still felt part of the fabric. And that was her message, and that was Razan's message, and that was Diat's message.
I saw a video yesterday. Diat going to Palestine, and he actually went to a kid and he had to do surgery on the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And why would he do that if he had a bad heart?
That's right.
And why would the guy actually kill him knowing that he had a good heart?
Yeah, you have to, I mean, he didn't know what he was doing when he realized, when he rid the world of all these three amazing people. He took away a blessing. He took away three exemplary models of what a citizen should be, let alone a young, successful, loving person should be, right? God help their families.
and the media just labels most of them as a terrorist. But like Muhammad said, did these three amazing people look like terrorists? No. They are three people full of life, and their smiles are just full of life, and they're amazing, and their legacy will always be remembered.
How does it make you feel, Mimi?
Makes me feel sad because they didn't deserve to die. They were just really good people, and I hope in the future I want to follow those steps because they were really educated.
And you will be. You will. Well, how does it make you feel? I mean, excuse me.
Well, it's scary knowing that it was just like, there were just three regular people, and it can happen to any of us who are headscarves or anybody who doesn't.
Yeah. Is it going to stop you, though?
Of course not, but it's like, what did he get out of it?
He got absolutely nothing. He's got a... What is his legacy? Hate. Exactly.
He's a role model as to what we should not be, what we should avoid
So he's
doing.
not a role model. He's the example that we should never even look at, right? Which you avoid. So their legacy is what, Joette?
It just makes people strive not to be them. It shows the bad people and the good people in the world. And he's a good example of a bad person on this earth. Basically, it shows people that there is evil in this world, and it does exist in many bad ways, as he has.
And we need to nip it, right, from the root. It's not okay to slander Muslims. There are people who are committing atrocious crimes in the name of Islam, but does that make them true Muslims?
No.
Absolutely not. We should not hold Islam accountable for their horrendous actions.
Just like we're not holding all atheists or any white male accountable for the atrocious acts that were committed that led to the deaths of these three beautiful human beings. It's just so sad.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to point out that when he killed them, they say that it's for a parking spot, which, well, I personally don't believe, but they say they just do that to cover it up. But even if it was for a parking spot, would that still be civilized? Would that still be
That's
right?
a great point. That's a
And
great point.
and no matter how hard you look in the right in it, it's still wrong.
And if it was over a parking spot, do you shoot them execution style in the back of their head?
Yes.
It's like, no matter what it was over, how can you just do that to, like, bring innocent people?
You could never justify
Exactly.
it.
How can you try and justify to the families that you killed their three children? They're amazing individuals. Execution style over a parking spot. I think that's so
It's
offensive.
demeaning. It trivializes their death, and it's not
Yeah.
so, right?
I think that there could have been a peaceful resolution to whatever made this man commit this atrocious
Well,
crime.
and there was. I mean, Diat went out of his way to make maps for his friends to park in certain areas, and his wife and her sister never parked in that area. I mean, they went out of their way to not agitate him. But obviously, that wasn't the underlying reason. Right, Daniel?
Right. I think that man could have learned from their message of peace and love and selflessness, because they were trying so hard not to cross this man in a bad way, calling their family, making sure that they park in other visitor spots at the apartment complex so that this man could have this parking spot for whatever he needed it for. And they were just so peaceful, and he should have learned their message
They did
of
it.
peace.
It's very sad that he was blinded by his hate. They were perfect role models living next to him. And had he had goodness in his heart, exactly, that would have been the effect on him, right? So that speaks to the level and the ingrained hate in him, which was very, very sad.
Right, had he been taught goodness in his heart, he would have been able to see what he could have learned from Diat, Razan, and Yusuf. But he is the outcome, like I said, of the general media and how they, preach Islamophobia and the messages that they produce. And it's
Send them a message. Let's send them a message. The people out there, the people on the news, the people on the radio stations, the people that mouth up and get on their high and mighty horse and try to implicate Islam in ugly acts. What are we going to tell them today?
Let them know that what they preach and what they show the world is what builds up the animosity towards, and what leads to these acts that
That's right.
unfortunately kill.
And they can't deny that they didn't instigate. They don't instigate these kinds of feelings that could lead to something like this, and in this case did. Yes, Sandra.
And they're not gone. There's going to be more Razans, Yusufs, and Diats in this world, and they're going to help, and we're not going to let this stop us from doing what we want and letting us achieve our goals and our dreams.
That's right.
It's not just the people in this room that are being affected by this. It's people all across the country, all across the world that are trying to preach their positive message and make themselves better people in order to help others.
That's right.
This situation does make me, or make anybody watch their back twice, but it's not going to stop me or any of us from living our life, going to school, and just striving for greatness. So it's not.
That's right. That's exactly right. I'm glad to hear that. I know initially every one of you was, and I could see you're still all affected by this. This is not even set in yet, right? We're all very sad, but we're going to get up and we're going to continue the message, right? How are you feeling, Mariana?
I feel like, I feel very sad for their parents and the accident. Like, we all understand their pain, but we really love them and we all want to grow up to be like them. And we want to send a message for the parents and for us to be very proud of them for who they were and for what they did in this world. And it, like, changed a lot in this world, and it brought happiness to us. And it brought a message of peace and how we want to grow up to be like them.
Excellent. Abu, how were you affected by this? I know you were very young, but I know that you were sad. So tell me, how do you feel? How does it make you feel?
I feel sad because if they lived longer, they might have done more than just this.
They would have done more. And I agree with you. But on the other hand, even though they passed away way too soon,
They lived beyond their years.
they have lived beyond their years, and their message has rippled all over the world, loud and clear, and will continue to exist through you. You guys are an amazing testimony to what they were, and they will continue to be, right? And you're going to remember this, and you're going to carry on their legacy in your hearts forever. Yes, sir.
I was just going to say, it's good to know that it's good that we are able to differentiate between the good and bad people, and it's good that we're doing all this for these wonderful people, and it's really sad to see them go so soon. But at the same time, there are, like he said, there are other great people like this in the world. There's going to be more Razans, more Diat. So I think we should right now focus on becoming like these people, and at the same time cherish what we have in the world. That there are more people, more great people in this world, and focus on being one of those people.
We were incredibly blessed to have them while we did, right? And they have done so much for our community specifically, but for the world in general. And that's something that we'll always live. Okay, so we know their legacy. We've talked about their legacy, and there's not enough words to talk about their legacy. I could see it living already through each and every one of you. And that's what their legacy is, right? Compassion, love, striving. What do we say at the Red Hearted? Educating, enlightening, empowering. And they embodied those 3 E's. They educated, they enlightened, and they empowered just by their existence. And they are going to be educating, enlightening, and empowering for the rest of our times through what tragedy that happened to them, right? What are we going to tell their parents? What message do we want to send their amazing, amazing, amazing parents and siblings who have showed nothing but grace, composure, amidst an incredibly brutal and sad and hurtful time? They're wonderful, wonderful siblings, Dr. Sandra Akkad. How amazing is she, right? What a spokesperson in their own right. She's incredible. She's an incredible role model herself. All their siblings are. Both sets of parents did a phenomenal job. And to them, we salute them, we love them, and we want them to know that if Diat and if Razan and Yusuf passed on way too soon, well, millions of Diats and Razans and Yusufs exist because of them now. Right? Go ahead, Sai.
I feel like they're really strong people because of them having 3 deaths in their family. And like, they're strong people because they raised them. Like Suzanne said, she said, I was like a second mom to him. And like, every time on like, I think Fridays, they would like talk to each other and they would have like
Conversations. He always looked up to his big sister, right?
Yeah. And they raised them well. Look what they did. They did like really good things for Syria, Palestine.
Yeah. For their communities, for downtown Durham, the homeless. They're going to miss them, right? When they were to be standing on the corners giving out toothbrushes and feeding them, they're going to be missed sorely.
And I think one of the most inspiring things about not only these three beautiful individuals, but their families, is the faith that they exude and how strong they are because of it.
Right. Their faith is what gives them strength. It's their strength stems from their faith.
To the families and parents of these wonderful people, أعلى درجات الجنة, the highest levels of paradise, and I personally thank you for giving us these blessings in our lives and these role models that we have.
I want their families to know that they're not alone in this fight. They have the whole world behind them, supporting them through these difficult times.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
So what I was gonna say earlier was that a normal person, like a normal American or just any person in general, would like think, they would just tell someone like, oh yeah, I feel bad for them, but inside they're just like, oh, it's just one like loss, it's okay, like it's not a very big deal. But then, there's a famous saying, you don't know what you have till you lose it. So I mean, it could just happen to anyone. I mean, not only Muslims or not only just anyone, like anyone in the whole world. And like that's what they should understand. They should understand that like they could lose anyone at any moment, or it could be themselves. And yeah.
And we want to stop it from happening, right? We've had enough. Nobody should have to die because of a hate crime. Nobody. Nobody, regardless of where they come from, what their religion is, or what they look like. Absolutely not. So, I know this is probably impossible. For sure it's impossible. But how do we want to sum up our red-hearted three amazing winners? What would we sum them up with?
That they sent a message that their lives mattered, Muslim lives mattered, and all the lives have mattered. And no matter who you are, your life matters.
That is absolutely beautiful, Angel. That is so true. All lives mattered, right? Any last messages to the parents? Yes, Dan?
In 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years, they will still not be forgotten. I know I personally and everyone in this room is going to go on living their lives as Howard, Yusur, and Hassan and Dia lived their lives, and how would they help other people, and how will we preach to our future children how to live their lives in peace and selflessness and in love.
That's right.
And I just want to say that God gives their families patience and to be very proud of what their children left behind, and they'll never be forgotten.
They should be really proud. I agree.
They should be very proud.
For what they produced and what they gave the world, and the legacy that they gave to their children to leave the world with.
That's right. Excuse me, that was my timer. Sandra, what would you want to say?
I'm just gonna say that they all are humans. They all are people. They all have the same insides that we do, and that we're probably never gonna forget them. And
So they stood for being all one.
Yeah.
Right? For humanity to be all one.
We all look different on the outside, but on the inside we all have the same red heart.
Yes, we do. And they surely had a huge, amazing, incredible, unique, endless, selfless red heart, right? Our last thoughts to their families. I personally want to thank them. I want to thank their amazing mothers. God be with them. I want to thank their amazing fathers, their siblings, for their composure, for bringing those wonderful, wonderful angels, those wonderful, wonderful, wonderful winners into this world, for raising them as they did. And their legacy will go on. They've lived a lifetime in their younger years that by far has surpassed anybody in 100 years. And their message is bigger than them even. And they were taken very, very soon for one reason, because their message is even louder and needed to be reached on so many more levels. And unfortunately, having to have gone through this, the good news is their message has reached. It has reached, it's reached, it's living in every one of you. It's reached every young person. It's reached every good-hearted person in this world. They have been heard. Have they been heard? They have been heard loud and clear, right? Any last-minute thoughts?
I would like to send the Abu Salha family and the Barakat family our deepest condolences and telling them that Yusur and Dia and Razan have inspired me to achieve, to be educated, to give back to my community, and I will live their legacy and I will not forget them. And you should be very proud of the 3 beautiful, beautiful young people that you've raised, and I hope that Allah gives you the patience to get through this very hard time.
Any last minute? Yes, sir.
There's a famous quote. It says, "They bury us, but they forget that we are seeds." So they might kill these 3 American Muslims, but it's not going to bring us down. We're going to become stronger.
That's so appropriate, Sai. Thank you for saying that. That's exactly right. What an amazing sentiment to leave this out, right? Any last minute thoughts? Anybody? Better?
Just to pick up from what everyone said, may Allah grant them in the highest level of paradise, and we love them just as much as they do, and all our hearts are with them.
Thank you for saying that. Would you say something?
That they were very great people. They didn't deserve to die, and may their family be as strong as they can. And may Allah give them a lot of peace.
That's right. Do we want to send kisses to them? Our hearts, our love, and our kisses are with you. Thank you. Thank you for giving them to us. Thank you.